Oh, I got the snacks on my mouth, y'all. I'm so sorry. Listen. Happy Saturday, y'all. Happy Saturday, okay? Welcome in the building. Happy Saturday. I'm glad y'all came through tonight. I got to get myself together, okay? Yes, I'm glad y'all came through tonight. Happy Saturday, y'all. It's trending topics. You know how we do over here. And the title is called Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You got Beyonce mom, Tina Knowles. Tina does the most to me. She be doing too much. And listen, her daughter, they got enough money that they don't have to worry about anything. I'm trying to see what is on my lips here. They don't have to worry about anything. And Tina Knowles is in these streets doing the most. Doing the most. She's defending her daughter, mad that people didn't like the halftime show. 27 million people watched that halftime show on Netflix. What do you care about a hater? Your son-in-law is being accused of the most. How about you deal with that and worry about that? Son-in-law is being accused. And she out here clapping back on the hater. Ignore the haters, boo. You got bigger fish to fry. So we're going to talk about Tina Knowles tonight, people. And if you're a Beehive fan, listen, I like Beyonce too, but we're going to talk. Because we got to talk, okay? So we're going to talk about Tina Knowles. And I don't know if y'all saw my video from earlier. Listen, that NYPD, woo, they going through it right now. From stealing overtime funds, from having all kinds of alleged sex and orgies on the job, to now out there in New York, some correctional officers, his name is Robert Brooks. They beat him to a pulp. The full video is extremely sad. They tried to get away with not turning on their body cams, but who knew body cams have a standby system? Has a standby system. So the standby is on, and that's why when you see the video, you'll see that is no sound. You're just going to see what's going on. He was handcuffed, hands behind his back. It was about 14 correctional officers in the room with him, watching, looking on, or participating. But his hands was behind his back. They was punching him, kicking him. Then at some point, his clothes was off. It's so sad that in 2024, something like this can happen. I watched the video. I was in shock. Oh, Governor Hartschild said it was 20 of them. The numbers are getting worse. The last I checked, thank you for that update, Linda. The last I checked, it was 14. Now it's 20. It doesn't make any sense. We're going to talk about it. It's extremely sad. And I promise you, if it wasn't for that video, yeah, they all need to be locked up. If it wasn't for that video, I promise you this, a lie would have been told and life would have went on. See, when we advocate for craziness in the jails, it will eventually impact somebody we know. I don't believe that inmates should be treated inhumanely. I do not. And I don't care what inmate it is. Oh my God, medical staff was included. So let me go back up a little bit and tell y'all that initially I went to a nursing school. So you can get your nursing degree from college, right? Going to college, obviously. And then they have sometimes these specialty nursing schools. Now, you're not going to get your BSN from a specialty nursing school, but you will get your nursing degree. I initially went and got my associate's degree, and I went to a specialty nursing school. And then later on, I went back and I got my BSN. So I'm saying that to say, when I graduated from nursing school, there was 2 ceremonies. It was like the graduation ceremony. It was this pinning ceremony. And we had this kind of like an oath we had to read, saying that it is our duty. It doesn't matter what happened to the patient. If a patient that just unalived 13 people came in, we got a duty to help save that person's life. We can't just go say we're going to get something and unalive that person because they unalived 14 people. Our duty is always to do right by the patient. It's very sad that this inmate suffered and lost his life the way that he did. So now here we are with taxpayers' dollars. The family is going to win millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Horrific. It's sad. It was hard to watch, but we're going to do it because we got to talk about it. We're going to go back and circle back to this Jeffrey Maddrey. I did this story the other day on my channel. It's a lot going on in the NYPD. He was the chief of police over the whole shebang. And this man allegedly was asking for sexual favors in exchange for overtime. And we ain't talking about, you know how most people, they work a 40-hour work week. We're not talking about 80 hours of overtime. We're not talking 100 hours of overtime. We're talking of hundreds and hundreds of hours of overtime to the tune of, in overtime money, you made $200,000 extra. There are people's salaries, their base salary is not $200,000. In overtime, you made $200,000 extra. So he came out and did a press conference. And he do what everybody do when they get in trouble. He calling it all lies. He's saying it was a consensual relationship between him and the other lieutenant there. And he's saying it only happened a few times, couple times. It's the lies for me. It's the lies. No, you was bending her over in that office every chance you got, and you had a wife at home. But the wild part is she wasn't the only one. He had other people in the office that he was doing it to, and they all knew about each other. And one of them had a husband at home. Disgusting. Nasty. And not for nothing, when I look at him and I see him, he couldn't have touched, I wouldn't have wanted 30 minutes of overtime. He wouldn't have touched me for 2.2 seconds. I'll take a pass. He wouldn't have put a finger on me. I wouldn't have showed him no part of my body, not for 2.2 seconds of overtime. I'll be on an unemployment 9, begging for cheese and bread first before I would have let that man touch me. No. Just looking at him, I get disgusted. When I hear him speak, I get even more disgusted. Ain't no way I would have let that man touch me. And he's a whole lot of man. He looked like he easy about 300-400 pounds. And listen, this ain't no discrimination, but I do not want 300-400 pounds on me. No, I do not. I pass. People are doing too much for a nickel, dollar, dime these days. It's ridiculous. You lost everything because you let that man get on top of you or behind you. Your integrity, your dignity, your job, your pension. And the ultimate is now he's saying you ain't mean nothing to him. You was nothing but a fling that he was with a couple of times. That's what he said. I'm going to show it to y'all. The people, once they get disrespectful, they get disrespectful because everybody now is fighting for their life over there at the NYPD. How do you have a good, nice job where you're getting paid over $100,000? Your pension when you retire is going to be sweet. You get all of these benefits because you was a cop and you messed all of that up so that man could get on top of you. Are you dumb, stupid, or both? And you got a husband at home. The one girl, she's so cute. I'm like, child, if I was your husband, I would leave like right now. Doing too much. These workplace rendezvous are ridiculous. But some of y'all so easy. Can we talk? Man talking about, can I buy you a Starbucks? No. Got a wife? No. Can I take you to lunch? I'm not hungry. You want some overtime? I'm good. Lost everything, your dignity, your job, so he could bend you over on a couch in his office. And then the one, he was telling her what to do with the money. So you wasn't even getting to do what you wanted with the overtime money anyway. He was telling you to buy his other chick stuff with the money from your overtime. And he told you to pay for a trip for him and his wife. And now he's sitting up on the news, telling the news and the whole world that you ain't mean nothing. You was a fling that should have never happened. But that's what you get. He was married and you messed with somebody else's husband and now you see what he's doing to you at the 11th hour. Listen, when they go to court, it's going to be a nasty dog fight. And she sent him videos. I told you, ain't nobody getting no video from me of me. No, I will not be FaceTiming you and I ain't got no clothes on because then you're going to screenshot it. No, I will not send you a nude picture of me. Negative. Then you get mad and you fighting with me and you going to send my nudes all around the world. And then once it's on the internet, I can't snatch it back. I'm good. And if we do something, it's going to be in my house and I'm going to have a metal detector and you're going to put your phone in that basket. There will be no videos of me. But listen, guys, we got stuff to talk about. It's Saturday Night Trending Topics. The title is called Unbelievable. We got Tina Knowles. She speaks. She always running her mouth. She needs to go somewhere and practice silence is golden because she's 70 years old. We got the inmate tragedy out there in New York and still in New York. We got Jeffrey Maddrey, ex-chief of police. He did 35 years on the job. 35 years of your life you gave up. 35 years of your life to now do the walk of shame. Yes, Best IBK, he is a walking STD. And you can't tell me that nobody over there in that one precinct plaza over there in the NYPD building, there was STDs, I gotta say allegedly, pregnancies, All kinds of nasty, funky stuff going on. Yuck, yuck, and yuck. I would have ran. And whatever shift he worked, and I'm not a night shift girl. I cannot do the night shift. But I tell you what, if Jeffrey worked the day shift, I would have told my boss, can I get a night shift, please? I don't want to run into him. I don't want to see him. I don't want to even pass him in the hallway. He's nasty. Let me bring the people in the building. Y'all know what I need, right? I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Saturday Night Trending Topics. We got stuff to talk about, and the title is called Unbelievable. Yes, let me bring the people on in. Hey, Katrina. Hey, Seth.
Hey, Panel.
Hey, Will. Hey, Dustin.
It's crazy how you say you don't do night shift, but you have me coming up here during the night shift.
Listen, I ain't a night shift girl, not that late like that. No,
Hi, Diva.
Hey, Dustin, with that darn nasty Jeffrey Maddrey, I would have did a night shift all day long. All day long. You ain't never lied, Best IBK, that nasty, dirty NYPD loser. I'm on the page with you tonight. Nasty. Slaying everybody down, and he had a wife at home. And if he got kids, I feel bad for the kids. Now you got to hear in the newspaper that your father is nasty. Your father allegedly got Diddy-like tendencies. You know, everybody want to think Diddy is the only one. No, there's a lot of these people out there. I don't know what it is with the people in this sex. Get you a mate and have sex with your mate. Let's get into this. We're going to first do Tina Knowles here. Let's do Tina, because Tina gets on my nerves. And I know if the Beehive is here, tell them to buzz on out, because I'm not playing with y'all tonight, because we're going to talk. Beyonce's mama Knowles ain't having it. Clap back at NFL Xmas halftime trolls. Tina Knowles is well aware some are popping off over Beyonce's Netflix Christmas Day halftime show performance, and she's not having it. As you know, Beyonce took to the stage at the Texans-Ravens game earlier this week in her hometown of Houston. But of course, there was some, such as Dave Portnoy, who bashed the show and the superstar. Let me tell you why Tina also should not care. Beyonce got, I think, $1 million and change per minute. The show was 13 minutes for her halftime show. So at the very least, she got paid $13 million. That is more than enough reason, Miss Knowles, for you to just go somewhere and shut up. It was a win-win-win for Beyonce all day long. Also, her Netflix halftime show, 27 million views. Tina, she won. Can you wake up and realize this? But here go Miss Knowles. Repost. My sentiments exactly, because a fan wrote something first and she reposted it, okay? My sentiments exactly. It is mind-boggling to me that you would take your precious Christmas Day and watch a performance of someone you hate and you don't think has talent so that you can go talk-ish about it later. Obviously, you are so obsessed with them, addicted to them, and secretly admire them. Wish you could be them, that you cannot help but to watch and critique and comment and say dumb, ridiculous stuff that makes you look like a joke. So go to another channel when it's halftime. Watch goofy cartoons or Bozo the Clown or something you can relate to and see yourself in. Said with love. How do you say that nastiness with love? P.S. I have learned so much from her warrior spirit. You learn nothing from your daughter, Miss Knowles. Of when they go low, I work harder. No, when they go low, Tina, you went low with them. You in the gutter. Stop, Tina. Okay. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. The weapon did prosper because you responded to it. 1, 2, 3, waiting for the fake bots to come. If you know they're fake bots, why are you addressing them? Mama Knowles recently took to Instagram to clap back at the haters, saying in part is, and I read that part to y'all, okay? That what she said. TK went on to Tina Knowles went on to talk about the trolls were making it pretty obvious they were into Beyonce more than they wanted to admit. Adding, you cannot help but to watch and critique and comment and say dumb, ridiculous stuff that makes you look like a joke. Of course, the trolls Tina's referring to had little to do with shutting down the big show, with reports showing over 27 million people tuned in to watch Queen Bey blow the roof off the stadium. Now, this is Steva talking. Ms. Knowles got bigger fish to fry. Her son-in-law is being accused of some heinous things in these streets. Make a comment on that. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah. Beyonce did the show. She got people talking about it. Like I said, I didn't watch it. I know the NFL got flagged because she made the pow pow with her hand, and I guess you're not supposed to do that. But anyway, they said her performance was. A lot of people say her performance was good, but you got people saying that they didn't appreciate it because she's not country. It is not country music. Um, I don't think it's country music, but that's not my taste. That's somebody else's taste. She performed. She did what she had to do. Tina, be quiet. If Beyonce ain't coming out talking about the haters, then neither should you. I know you the mom. You want to protect your child or whatsoever, but your child always keep her life private until these other allegations is coming out about her husband or whatever. So if she didn't come out and say anything, you shouldn't have came out and said anything, because the haters gonna be there anyway, because they've been hating on this country album for the longest. So she should have just let it flew by like everything else, and worried about what Jay-Z got going on that's married to your daughter. Worry about that hating, what he's doing to her, what kind of distress he's going through. And word on the street, I don't know if it's true or not, but he was ordered to take a DNA test from that the guy that said it's supposed to be his father.
He was not.
So it was a lie. It was a lie. Like I said, the word on the street.
People speculate a lot, and that's why me over here. There's a lot of, and listen, I ain't saying I'm perfect and I'm the best person out there. That I'm definitely saying that. But what I am saying is, I do not do anything into it in some type of publication, because people be putting 20 on 10. What they're speculating is because this one judge said that the girl can remain anonymous in the case. They're speculating that if this case comes before this particular judge, she's going to be hardball and make him take this DNA test. Trust and believe, if someone ordered Jay-Z to take this DNA test, it would be on every publication known to mankind, because this Ramir has been fighting this thing for, I want to say, over a decade already. So no judge has made him do that yet. I don't even know if
Well, thank you for putting that out there. I appreciate that, Dee.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, she should have just let it flew by, and it'll went over or whatsoever. Because like I said, people don't think that Beyonce is doing country music anyway, and so she already got the hateration from that. So she should just let it went on, and didn't worry about it, and just worry about what else going on other than that, because that's not important anymore. Your daughter made $14 million in less than 13 minutes, and you got people on the streets, homeless, hungry, cold. But you worried about what somebody's saying about her performance. Let
Come
it
on.
go. That's all I got. Just let it go.
Let it go. Come on now. Sebastian, your thoughts?
This is just childish behavior. I know the Beehive is here, and shout out to the Beehive. They're gonna have to suck it up and suck on some honey for what I'm about to say. Listen, Tina, your daughter has made it, okay? She's made it big for many years. Everyone knows who Beyonce is. There's not nobody that I know that does not know who Beyonce is. They know she's a singer. They know she's married to Jay-Z. They know she probably committed copyright violation for sacred hair products. They know everything about her. They do. They do. It's too much. It's too much. that this is becoming a cult, because that's the thing. I don't like these cultish things. Like, we have the Beehive, we have the Barbs, the Barty Gang. We have too many of these cult little fans. I don't like them because basically these people have nothing else to do than to idolize an actual human being. It's problematic as hell. I will say this. Your daughter is a billionaire. That is a very hard thing to achieve, to become that status. Stop crying about what she does now. Basically, I'm going to say this, and it's going to be hard. It shouldn't matter what Beyonce gets anymore. At this status that she's at, she should be doing charity. That's what she should be doing. Then worried about a check. Because she's at the richest point. She is richer than actual countries. If we're being serious right now, she's richer than actual countries. Are we really gonna stay here and like, oh, she's fighting for her check? She got to make sure she get her bag. She got to do. This is too much. This is too much. Beyonce could give half of her money to like, and would probably solve poverty in many other countries. She should be doing charity right now. She should be singing for free. She should be singing for at some orphanages around the world. Go do that. And yes, the halftime performance was beautiful and whatever. It was very beautiful. But it's not country music, but it's good. It works. It's just not country. But Tina's doing too much. Tina needs to back off. I'm tired of when these mamas come out here and try to do this stuff. We have it with Candy's mother. We have it with Beyonce's mother. It's too much. When Beyonce acknowledges her half brother, as Emmanuel said, then I'll have more respect for her. Go give him some money, okay? Go feed him. Go make sure he's all right. Make sure he doesn't become a statistic. Make sure he's in the good schools. Thank you, everybody.
Y'all messy. Y'all messy. Listen, listen, I'm not going to dictate what nobody has to do with their money. I don't feel like she has to do anything for free, right? I mean, if she don't want to get a charity, she don't have to. I ain't got no problem with that. I don't got no problem with Beyonce because Beyonce doesn't address this nonsense. It's her mother. Her mother devalues her brand by running her mouth. Beyonce literally responds to nothing. Neither did Jay-Z normally. But with this recent case of his, he's been, a little more vocal than he normally is. That's why you can tell he's pressed. Because, Jay-Z is another one. He doesn't really talk like that. But he put out a message on Rock Nation. He's been coming after, Tony Busby. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So, we talk about these so-called mamas. And we always say, the mamas are always there for their kids. But sometimes I think your mama can do the opposite. Mama can devalue the child. And that's what her whole family has been doing, devaluing her the whole time she's been here. Now, I'm going to tell you, I watched it. I was unimpressed. I don't like it at all, okay? I'm a country music fan, and that's not country. The performance sucked because she was trying to do too much theatrics, and she's not that kind of performer. But that's my opinion. And that's what Tina needs to know. Everybody has an opinion. And just because somebody don't like your kid, you supposed to tell them sticks and stones may break your bone, but words would never hurt you. But Tina is a clout chaser. She always out here looking for somebody to clout her, say something to her, acknowledge her. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing this for a while. Her and her Beyonce daddy. They just go out looking for people to validate them. I need you to sit down, mama. You too old for all this, okay? Go sit down. Just like I told Kiki, mama, go sit down. Go sit down.
To the performance. Let me move on. Dustin, your thoughts?
Diva, I have said this plenty of times on here before. Things like this trigger me, and I'm going to say a lot. I have a lot to say about this situation tonight. It's because I don't have the support of my family most of the time, Diva. And there's plenty of times I depend on my support system is my best friend. And I'm going to say it here. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him, David, because I believe my life has really changed with him in it. And that's just how it makes me feel, because I feel more supported and more loved by him. And I think this is very triggering to me. And I think that she needs to get some help.
Thank you, Dustin. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, you always have a friend that always mess it up. Everything is good till they come around. I mean, they friends, but they're good. Beyonce hasn't come out and said anything. And like you said, it's just her mother. So and she's talking about bots, stuff that's not even real.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, I mean, it's just, you don't have to respond to everything. The last thing Beyonce or JC want is people talking.
Mm-hmm.
And you give them something to talk about. Okay? I ain't no Beyonce fan. I don't dislike her or like whatever, but I thought she did a good performance. So what if somebody don't think it's country? So what they do? So she doesn't get acknowledged by the country people. But I think she put some good quality time in it and turned out a good show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you want? I don't think she's trying to be something she's not. Music don't belong to any particular genre. You have to sing this, you have to sing that. If you're a singer or a performer and you want to do anything with music, that's your business. If you want to go out there and sing opera, that's your business. If you want to, try it. Look at Michael Jordan. He was a good basketball player. But didn't he try baseball? It didn't work out, but he tried it. So I have no, backlash for her doing another genre of music. Other folks do it all the time. Michael McDonald come out, everybody thought he was black when he started singing. Mm-hmm. Like I said, no particular genre of music belongs to anybody. Black folks may have contributed a whole lot to music, and a lot of this music is branched off from blacks. But no, I don't have no backlash at her because she did a show and people didn't think it was country. And the show never give another cent to nobody. That's her business. And she may maybe giving money to people, but I don't see no reason why she should go someplace and do it for charity. If she does, that's her business. But if she don't, it's no backlash. Oprah got plenty of money. Jeff Bezos a lot of them got plenty of money and ain't out there giving it away like that. Just because you don't see them giving it away like you think you should see them give away. And Sebastian, I'm not throwing off for you. I'm just saying, just in general, just because people don't see you giving, or donating to what they think you should donate, they think you don't do nothing with your money. But you know what? If she does and she's kept it quiet, that's the way you do it. She doesn't owe anything to anybody to tell them anything about her business, her money, or whatever she does with it. Okay? People watch it because they like to hear her sing. They like to see her perform. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and she got that Netflix special just for that. Now they said the ratings wasn't that high before she came on. Mm-hmm. But when she came on, those ratings were higher than I think some Super Bowl halftime, whatever. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But she got she got a bag out of it, a double bag. Mm-hmm. I ain't mad at her. Go for it.
Yeah, go for it. I appreciate you. Thank you, Wayne. But I do need Tina Knowles to sit down because her daughter is not even that vocal like that when it comes to the social media. So I'm going to go ahead and roll into this next story. Super sad. I really couldn't believe my eyes. And the video is actually longer. I'm just going to show y'all the snippet that came from the actual article. But if you Google online, I want to say with all the different angles and videos that they had, I want to say it totals up to about 30 minutes. but it's so super sad, and it is extremely hard to watch because it's unbelievable. They was relentless and beating this man down, and it's like, okay, who does this? Where do they do this at? I actually had another video too. I'll show y'all this little 43-second portion. But I did have another video too that shows more. You're not going to hear any sound. And the reason why you're not going to hear any sound is because they didn't officially turn on their body cameras. So this was their body cameras recording this on standby. I'm going to show you this, and then I will bring up the other video I have too. So let's take a look. Like I said, it's not going to be any sound because they did not officially turn on their body cams. So that's the inmate. That is them beating him relentlessly. Very, very sad. He puts his foot up on this man, and he's kicking him in the groin and in the stomach. And they're just, this is sad. Let me just pause that. 1 minute. I do have another video I want to show. Just super, super sad. But like I said, there is tons of footage. This was unbelievable. I just really couldn't believe what I was seeing. Yeah, I know, Juanita, I know. You know, so y'all gotta go away for a minute because this is horrible. But I'm gonna see the depth of this. I'm gonna show this shorter version just so you can hear, and then we'll talk.
Following two developing stories for you right now at Destiny USA. The mall closed this morning for what is being called a security concern. It's reopened since. Police haven't yet defined what that threat is. They tell us there has been an arrest, and the decision to close was out of an abundance of caution. There was a large police presence, as you can see at the mall, with state police even blocking driving entrances. Syracuse Police Chief Joe Cecil will be holding a press conference momentarily. We will get to that in a moment. But first, we're also following a developing story out of Oneida County. The state attorney general's office just releasing shocking body cam footage showing a graphic portrayal of prison officers punching, kicking an inmate who later died. State Attorney General Letitia James releasing that disturbing body cam video showing the beating that preceded the death of 43-year-old Robert Brooks, an inmate at Marcy Prison in Oneida County. Brooks died earlier this month. News Channel 9's Ashley Caparo now sharing that video with us. Ashley.
Yeah, Christy, the state AG's office confirming Robert Brooks was transferred from Mohawk Correctional Facility to Marcy Correctional Facility on December 9th. Now, less than 24 hours later, he would be dead. I did watch the video, and it's graphic. It shows Brooks being kicked, punched, and at one point partially stripped, all while being handcuffed. Just before 9:30 on December 9th, body cam video shows Robert Brooks in handcuffs being led into the infirmary at Marcy Correctional Facility. Corrections officers are then seen carrying Brooks into the lobby. He is then taken to a medical exam room. There are multiple corrections officers surrounding Brooks. A few minutes into the video, we see the beating begin. Video showing a guard begin punching Brooks while other corrections officers are seen looking on. Video then shows guards holding Brooks down while another guard appears to kick him in the groin. Multiple officers continue to hit and punch Brooks. Video also appears to show a guard grabbing Brooks by his throat and picking him up while another guard continues to hit Brooks in the stomach with a shoe. Now, Brooks was taken to a Utica hospital where he was pronounced dead. He had been serving a 12-year sentence for assaulting his girlfriend. We are also working to learn why Brooks was transferred from Mohawk to Marcy. There were 4 body cams operating, but they were in standby mode and audio was not recorded. Full video released by the AG's office can be found online at localsyr.com.
Just is unbelievable. Let me just go back. So Robert Brooks, fatal inmate beating under FBI investigation. The fatal beating of Robert Brooks, which was captured on horrifying body cam video from NYC corrections officers, is being investigated by the FBI, TMZ has learned. The federal agency said in a statement to TMZ, the FBI Albany field office and the Department of Justice are revealing the facts and circumstances surrounding the death of Robert L. Brooks to determine the appropriate federal response. As this is an ongoing review, we are not able to comment further at this time. The major development comes as one day after body cam footage of correctional officers brutally beating a restrained Brooks, who died hours later, was released by the New York State Attorney General, showing officers hitting the bloodied man repeatedly. The shocking video showed Brooks, an inmate serving a 12-year sentence for first-degree assault, being punched and kicked and being gagged with what appears to be a towel. Footage also shows one officer repeatedly striking Brooks with a shoe as officers hold him down with his arms behind him. At one point, the officers lift Brooks up by his neck. He's got blood all over his face, and he cannot even hold up his own weight. Elizabeth, attorney for the family of Robert Brooks, said in a statement to TMZ, with the Attorney General's release of these videos, members of the public can now view for themselves the horrific and extreme nature of the deadly attack on Robert L. Brooks. As viewers can see, Mr. Brooks was violently beaten by a group of officers whose job was to keep him safe. He's deserved to live, and everyone else in Mercy Correctional Facility deserves to know they do not have to live in fear of violence at the hands of prison staff. We also spoke to New York State Police, who told us they are also part of the growing investigation into the death of Brooks. The results of Brooks' autopsy have yet to be released by the medical examiner's office, but they did release it, and they said asphyxia. It was a lot in the autopsy, but in addition to that, you literally put your foot and was kicking this man in the groin. This is super sad. It's unbelievable. Also, too, there's another article because 3 of these officers that were there, they actually let me just see if they actually had prior complaints of pepper spraying people, macing people. It's a shame. So Robert Brooks, prior complaints filed against 3 officers that were at the beating of him. So 3 officers who the New York State Attorney General claims were present when Robert Brooks was beaten are named in other lawsuits alleging brutal beatings at the hands of prison guards. I don't know why they feel like they could just do anything to these inmates. I just can't even begin to wrap my mind around this. And documents revealed by TMZ, Nicholas, Glenn, and Anthony, all 3 suspended pending further investigation by New York's Department of Corrections and Community Supervision Commissioner, are named as defendants in lawsuits filed by incarcerated or formerly incarcerated individuals. In lawsuits filed in September 2022, a man named Adam sued one of the officers along with several other correctional officers after he claimed he suffered an unprovoked beating by one for smoking a cigarette in a bathroom in 2020. Another one claims he submitted to a search after he was caught with the contraband, but when he turned his back, the officer allegedly hit him multiple times. After the initial encounter, the lawsuit alleges several officers, including the one he's suing, came in and either kicked him or stood by and watched their colleagues do so. Later on, while he says officers took him to a local hospital. He claims that the officer kicked his feet. Also claims the men involved covered up the incident by telling a series of lies to hospital staff. Sergeant Glenn has been sued on 2 occasions, including once for a 2020 incident where a man named Caleb claimed a guard used pepper spray on him unprovoked. He also says he ran to the dorm area but was ordered by the officer into a vestibule. And when several other correctional officers arrived, he claims he told them he'd been assaulted by the other officer. Among these officers were the people that were at the beating for Robert Brooks. Claims at the very least looked on while he was beaten, though he's not sure if they actually took part in his particular beating. Let me just right here. The third lawsuit and second one involving the one officer was filed in 2018 by a man named Equan at the United States Southern District of New York. It is handwritten by White. White claims that back in 2015, before Trumley moved up to the Mercy Correctional Facility where Robert Brooks was an inmate, White was incarcerated at Greenhaven Correctional Facility in Stormville, New York, where Trumley worked. According to White, Trumley and several other officers also beat him up in an empty classroom, with White claiming Trumley held him down while other officers repeatedly stomped on his testicles. As you know, video showing officers repeatedly hitting, choking, and kicking Roberts was released yesterday. One person who had their body cam on during the incident was Glenn Trumley, who appeared to stand by and watch the vicious attack. We've reached out to the New York State Correctional Officers and Police Benevolent Association for a comment. So far, no word back. So these people had prior issues, prior lawsuits. This is unbelievable. Katrina, your thoughts?
I don't understand why they're not in jail. They should be arrested. Especially after people have seen this, they should have went when they got through watching that tape. All of them should have been arrested.
I agree.
Because you got the ones that was there as accessories. You got the ones that there because you didn't try to stop it. You allowed this to happen. All of them need to be locked up. And the thing of it is, they took these jobs to do exactly what they're doing to those inmates. And I guarantee you, majority of them was black that they would send up there beating on. And that's the same. And then especially when you already know that they have these allegations against them anyway, why are they still on the job? Yes, it's a shortage in COs, but there's no reason why these people should still be on the job, especially when they have caused lawsuits. How many of us would still be on a job where we have caused our business to have a lawsuit coming up against them? They would got rid of us, put it on leave, or sent us to somewhere else. But y'all still allowed this to happen because you don't care. You don't care. And that's the sad situation. You'd rather pay out money than get people in there that can do what they're supposed to do with these inmates, regardless of the fact that they're locked up and the things they have done. That's their punishment. They're getting punished because they're locked up. It's not your job to punish them. The judge punished them. It's not the CO job to come in there and abuse somebody and take control of somebody and doing all this to these people. They need to be in jail. They don't need to be suspended. They don't need to be nothing. They need to be locked up, and they don't even need a trial because we sit up here and seen exactly what you did. So what you gonna defend? You gonna say the man tried to hit you? Lie. You gonna say the man was trying to fight? Lie. So what you gonna do? You need all of them need to be arrested. Every last one of them need to be in jail. And some inmates in jail need to give them the same treatment that they just gave this man because they're gonna keep doing it, and keep doing it. And the only reason why it's a big thing now is because that body cam. If the body cam wasn't there, they would all would have lied and said this happened, that happened. He was fighting with somebody else. No, they don't need no trial. They don't need to be out on the streets. They need to be locked completely up because there's nothing that you can come back from. Because you can't say this man was doing these things when we all see that y'all sat up there and beat this man the way that you beat them, then stomping them in his testicles.
Oh my God.
Oh my! I mean, that's horrible on its own. I mean, when a man get hit down there, you already know how they react. And you something that beating this man like this, and nobody stopping it. They didn't stop it. They just changed their CO clothes from white sheets to CO clothes. That's exactly what they did. They doing this because they think they can get away with it. And ever since 45, I know we don't talk about him. We're not supposed to talk about him. But ever since he got up in office, they think they can do anything and get away with it. But it's not gonna work like that anymore. It's not gonna work like that anymore. So you come with that bull crap, like the ones that said they was gonna pick me up because I was going on the plantation. I was like, Brian, come on. You might not make it back to your black van. So come on, pick me up and we'll see what happens. This is ridiculous and sad, and they all need to be locked up. That's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. Sebastian, your thoughts? Oh.
I am not shocked by this. These type of things happen. I think they happen way more often than we actually know about, because officers do tend to not follow the regulations, the laws that they have to follow. My stance is this: the person is inside, they're doing their sentence, they're not a danger to you. There's no reason for you to be hitting them, beating them, and torturing them. I do believe that these type of acts happen way more often than we're seeing. This one, we're probably just seeing it because we have body cams now, but mind you, many years before, actually not that long ago, in my lifetime, not that long ago, we did not have body cams on officers. For many years, there was not body cams on officers. So this type of things were happening all the time. And I remember my father was telling me when he first came to America, there was this guy who got beaten up by the NYPD in the streets. His name was Abner Louima, and like he was also like they also stuck something up his rear end. And
Oh, I remember that. Oh my God, that was horrific.
yeah, and like literally, actually, not too long ago, the reason why my father was telling me about it is because the officer who did it has already served his time and he's already out. Justin Volpe, he's out.
Wow, I remember that story. That was horrific.
And Abner had to go through like so many surgeries and stuff to have his intestines redone and everything. But like these type of things were happening a lot. And it took a while for Abner to actually get his justice because they were all like trying to like be silent about it and stuff. And this was during the time when, as I'm saying, there were no cameras. We don't have like, this is why it's a very dangerous thing. It's a very dangerous thing. It's very dangerous. Torture is not, we don't take the law in our hands. We don't do that. We don't. Only when your life is in danger, you can do self-defense and stuff like that. But this is an inmate and he is doing his sentence. He's supposed to be alive for his sentence. You have no right to take his life away from him.
Very sad. I do remember that. Oh my God, that was a sad story. And you're right. At that time, when that happened to him, there were no cameras. Let me just hold on. I'm coming to you, Julius. Just give me a minute. So yeah, he was Haitian. Abner Louima, Haitian American man who in 1997 was physically attacked, brutalized, and armed by officers of the New York City Police Department after he was arrested outside a Brooklyn nightclub. His injuries were so severe that he required 3 major surgeries. Officers responsible for the attack were charged and convicted in federal court. Justin Volpe was sentenced to 30 years in prison. So he served the 30 years already with no possibility of parole, although he was released from his sentence in early 2023.
Exactly.
Wow. In 2001, Louima received $8.75 million settlement, equivalent to about $15 million in 2023. And his civil suit against the city for police brutality, the largest civil settlement at the time for such abuse. He has set up the Abner Lorena Foundation to establish a hospital and community centers in Haiti, Florida, and New York for Haitian residents, immigrants, and others in need. Oh, I remember that story. That was so sad and so horrific what they did to him. And now here we are. That happened when? In 1997, and here we are in 2024, still happening. Julius, your thoughts?
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, EP. What are you talking about? Excuse me, I'm Haitian from Brooklyn. Please don't use Amber. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oh, let me kick this person out because they're being stupid. Block. Okay, go ahead, Julius.
So this is a sad thing that happened to that gentleman. It has, you know, some folks who go into law enforcement think they're better than other people. Now, when folks are in the pen doing their time, guess what? They're still no better than you, and you are no better than them. And when you realize that, the better off your law enforcement career is going to be. And it's something that my sister told me a couple of years ago when she was in the academy to be a CO. And they were, going through the cells doing like cell block checks.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the cadets were letting the power go to their heads. And so, unfortunately, with that person who you show the Wikipedia about, what he went through, and what the person who's no longer here went through, it goes to show that some folk, they came across folks who think they're better than other people. And that's not what you should go into law enforcement for. You should go in because you want to make a difference and you want to lead by example, not that you're better than anyone else.
Thank you. Dustin, your thoughts?
I want to start off by saying I'm so sorry to hear about this, David, and I'm so sorry for the family. But I do want to say that nobody is above the law, and it goes for a police officer as well. So I think that he's gonna get to this family should get the justice they deserve, and I think it is sad, and I think that nobody deserves to be treated like that, David. And it is very eye opening to me, David. It really is, because I thought I'd never see something like this in my life, but I guess here we are hearing something about it, and it's very sad to me, David. That's all I got to say to that question.
Thank you. Wayne, your thoughts?
I was gonna say, with this, these officers or correctional officers, whatever they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
They did this, and they thought their cameras was off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the reason they did it because the cameras off, they're not going to get caught. Okay, imagine when they have immunity. That's what's coming up next year. That's what he planned. He said he wants to give police immunity. Okay, black folks already know this happened. We saw it back with Rodney King, saw it on video. And the sad part about this is that it's going to be that they've been put on administrative leave without pay, blah, 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 until a full investigation is done, blah, blah, blah. Come back. Oh, well, the young man had drugs in his system. All the reasons he would pass away outside of them beating him to death. They'll come up with some other reason that this was something already existing and this happened just like the guy in New York. That's the sad part about it. And these folks aren't held accountable. Every one of them that you saw in that video should be held accountable. The same way they want to try to hold these people accountable who they say celebrities saw a child getting abused. They stood by, did nothing. They want them. So the same way these guys stood by and did nothing, they need to be held accountable. And they all need to get, I would say, the same punishment. This man was literally beat to death, if you can say that. Literally. But this, unfortunately, I think this is just going to become too common. Because if you know you don't have to be held accountable, ain't going to be no paychecks lost, no food off the table, and they'll probably be happy to turn them cams on so black folks can see the beating that they want to do. Now, I'm sure it happens to white folks, Mexicans, everybody else in the country. Unfortunately, you just don't see it. We see us. I can't say that I've seen on television, but I'm sure it's been there, where they unjustly beat the slop out of a white person. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it happened. But you don't see it. But they're going to be 2025. If he has his way and they get immunity, they're going to be glad to do it because they got the power. It's unchecked. And it's almost like they'll be rewarded for it. Not admonished, but rewarded that he did something good. And it's unfortunate that's the system we lived in. And the sad part about it is that if these officers get off on some BS, because we saw it, because now you're telling us, you wanted to say, you saw it, but that didn't really happen. We saw Rodney King get beat to a pulp, but it was justified. It's either you didn't see what you saw, or the person provoked it, the black person provoked it, and it's almost like they feel it's justified. If these people aren't locked up, it's just unjust. It's just unjustly. I mean, you see it. You see it. And that's the part that's going to get us. We know this is happening, but it's going to anger us even more when these people go unchecked.
Yeah.
And they go out and can do it to somebody else. And then they joke about it amongst themselves. I'm done.
Thank you. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So these are the ones they want us to see. Because notice what the word said. She let them release it. So imagine all the body cam footage you haven't seen. I think and I'm not going to say all police officers, because there are some really nice police officers out there that take their job serious. But I do think after they've been in this service, after they've been on this force for so long, they need to have counseling. They also need to test these people to see if they mentally have their marble straight to be on the job. Because after a while of dodging, firepowers and stuff like that, and dealing with criminals and stuff, that's got to mess with them. It's almost like the military. They go into war every day. You know, you call on the police when you at your scariest moments, okay? And they have to take in that stuff. And I think it's sad that they don't have something in place for the first responders to have something in place to decompress from the stuff that they see, the traumatic parts that they see. And why we don't test them to see if they mentally can stay on their job. I think we will see a lot of this stop happening if they put in stuff in place to safeguard us from not being a statistic in the future. But too many people are just worried about we're gonna let them do what they do. If they unalive you, they unalive you. We're gonna show you what we want to show you. We should be thinking of a solution. I'm so tired of seeing it. It's hurtful. It's sad, especially when you're raising kids, and you know your kids gonna have to go out in this world. That could be somebody else's child. He was already sentenced to 12 years. It didn't say 12 years and a beating at the prison.
Mm.
It didn't say 12 years and choking him at the prison.
Oh my
It didn't
God.
say 12 years and throwing a shoe at his stomach. Just the stuff that I saw almost made me hurl. Because as a mama, you look at that and say, that could have been mine.
Mm-hmm.
What if that was mine? Who do I reach out to? Because even the little settlements that they give these people, it won't bring your child back. I'd rather have my child than the money. And I'm pretty sure these people would rather have their family members than the money. But this is all they have available for them to fight back. So us as voters, taxpayers, all that, we need to fight to have something in place because these people that's coming in office don't care. They looking out for what's going to coat their pockets and make them richer. They're not worried about the people that's suffering. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Felicia,
Can
your
I
thoughts?
can I ask you a question for a minute?
Oh, wait 1 second, Dustin.
Sorry
Felicia,
about
your
that. Sorry.
That's okay.
Well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I hope everybody had a wonderful Kwanzaa, Christmas Eve. You know, I was listening, and you know, Wayne, you're very passionate. You've been very passionate the last couple of days, and I appreciate it. But I gotta say, I've been following Diva now for a little bit more than a year, and reading the chat and listening to the panel. I ain't see one word come up that these people are monsters in this chat. I didn't hear nothing about no demon. I didn't read nothing about put them up under the jail, throw away the keys in the cell. And I'm gonna go there because we ain't got but 3 days left into the new year. Hey everybody, okay? So many of you folks been whitewashed. This media piece got you thinking that because these white men got guns and stuff. Oops, Diva, sorry about that. They have the right to take a life on the camera, and God bless your opinion. And you talk about some damn therapist. Listen, I'm done. I want them handcuffed and charged right in that room, right where they at right now. You collectively got together and took the life of a human being.
Woo!
I don't know what he did to you. I understand from the story you read that there's something to do with domestic violence. He did something with domestic violence. So I'm not even clear on how the 12 years come about. Maybe he had outstanding warrants or whatever. But I really hope in 2025, folks get some kind of balance when they're talking about righteousness and what's fair and what's just, what's illegal and what's a crime and who's a criminal. Because Wayne was kind enough to go back to the 90s and give you Rodney King. We can go back 400-500 years and see this kind of brutality on our people, and we still allow it to continue. I don't care if we got video or not. We know it's been happening. And when they have the video, it doesn't change anything. It's like Wayne say, no, you didn't see what you just saw. Oh, you didn't see what came before that when he said so-and-so. How many times have I had to hear, oh, you don't know what he might have said to the police officer before they did that. There's nothing he could have said that justified taking his life. I am disgusted. Now, Attorney General Tish James, she's taking on a big piece here. Because when she's going up against the blue wall, we know how they feel about her. And we know who's coming in. You're going to be sworn in a couple of weeks. And she took him up and took him to court. So we know she's going to have a lot of people coming for her. So what I suggest, for those who are righteous, for those who really care, who want to see real change, pray up, because we all going to need it.
Pray up. Ooh. Dustin, did you want to say something before I move into the last story?
Yes, I did. I wanted to say that I agree with, in my opinion, on what she said about having therapists, about police officers. I do agree that we need to have something in place, like a mental health check, especially if you have been on the job for a long time. I don't. If your mental health is not in a good place when you are a police officer, you are putting people's life at risk. So I do agree with, in my opinion, on that question, Diva. And thank you for saying that, in my opinion, because I do agree with you 110%.
All right.
Well, Steve, let me say something real quick. They do have psychiatrists on the police force. It's up to them to use it. And Felicia, I did say that he don't need no trial. They need to be all locked up. I don't understand why they still free. We seen right there what they did. So yes, they definitely need to be in jail. I said they don't need a trial, because what they gonna come back from? We seeing on the thing that y'all abusing this man, that y'all actually took his life on camera. They don't need no trial. They need to be directly in jail. They don't need to come out suspended. They don't need to be suspended. They need to be fired, and they need to be handcuffed. Because it's ridiculous what we saw. Totally ridiculous what we saw. And I'm glad you came up. I hope you're feeling better.
All right. Thank you, guys. Let me roll right into the last story. So if you've been following my trending topics and you've been stopping by, you know I've been talking about this whole NYPD scandal, where they had it's a sex scandal that has to do with overtime, and the head chief resigned because his name is all mixed up in this scandal. Well, he did a press conference with his lawyers. So let's take a look, and then I'll talk a little bit more after we look at this press conference. Let me just make sure I have the right screen here. He a whole hot, stinking, nasty mess.
Earlier, I sat down with the NYPD's former Chief of Department, Jeffrey Maddrey, 1 week after he abruptly quit in the face of graphic, salacious reports that he demanded sex from a subordinate in exchange for generous overtime pay and other perks. Those allegations coming from a member of his office, Lieutenant Quatisha Epps, who described him as a predator and demanded sex from her and other favors since he was elevated to Chief of Department. This is just the latest bombshell involving the upper ranks of the NYPD and Maddrey's first interview since the scandal surfaced. He says he wanted to share his side of the story.
And I just wanted to come out and just stand up for myself and tell everyone that these accusations are not true.
Well, let's get into a little bit and ask about the one that is making the most headlines. Did you force sexual favors from a subordinate, NYPD Lieutenant Quatisha Epps, starting in June 2023? She's a ranking officer. Did you force that in exchange for overtime approval and other perks signed off by you?
Absolutely not.
What happened here?
Me and Lieutenant Epps, we worked together. Starting in early 2022. We were working together for about 1.5 years, and we were working together. One thing led to another. We had an office flame, and that's all it was an office flame.
Consensual relationship, you're saying?
Absolutely consensual.
How long did that last?
We had got together a couple of times. There was really nothing to it. There was no romance. We weren't girlfriend and boyfriend. We had an office fling, and that's all it was.
You're the chief of department. Some may look at that and say it may have been consensual, but you had far-reaching powers, and this was a subordinate. Do you think that was appropriate?
It wasn't appropriate for me to be in a relationship with anyone.
And so let me be clear. You're saying that you had a consensual relationship with Ms. Epps. And that she's essentially lying in this EEOC complaint. What do you think her motivation is to do this now?
Would you mind if I answered that? Because, what happened here seems to be that Lieutenant Epps is under investigation internally by the NYPD since October. And the allegations are that not only was she putting in for excessive overtime, but that she was actually putting in for overtime that she had not completed or done, so that she was effectively stealing time. So when she put in her retirement papers, 2 days later, the NYPD suspended her. And they suspended her because of suspicion that she had committed a crime, which is stealing overtime from the NYPD.
It was abrupt.
Yes.
And some would say, well, if you didn't feel you did anything wrong, why did you leave so abruptly?
Well, there was a couple of things going on when I made the decision. I was already making a decision, and it was really weighing heavy on my mind. I was entering 35 years, almost completing 35 years of city service. I knew that I was going to have to fight, and I didn't want to have the constraints of the police department, being the chief of the department, holding me back from fighting properly for my innocence. When you're in the police department, I can't say certain things. I can't do certain things. I have to have the Chief Maddrey persona. When you talk about my work speaks for itself. Driving down crime as the chief of the department, all right? What I've done out there in the communities, what I've done in Brooklyn North, all right? I have given so much to the city, so much, and I've never asked anyone for anything in return, all right? Countless people who can never repay me for what I've done for them, all right? And I've never looked for repayment, not even from the lieutenant. So for her to try and spin a story like this is very hurtful, because I've given so much to the people of this city.
During our conversation and during a press conference today with select members of the media, the former chief and his lawyer claim they have evidence backing up their statements. The relationship with Lieutenant Epps was consensual, and they say it includes intimate text messages and images. We've reached out to Lieutenant Epps 3 times today. We've not heard back, but her legal team did respond to the Associated Press, saying Maddrey's lawyer's admission the former chief had a sexual relationship with Epps undercut a previous statement denying every aspect of the allegations. And, quote, "We have a treasure trove of digital data that will hopefully bring this degenerate to justice."
Oh, my gosh.
The NYPD also responded, saying they take allegations of sexual misconduct seriously and will thoroughly investigate.
Ooh, child. Hold on one second.
If it's too
Yikes, yikes, and yikes. Okay, everybody, please hit that like button. I need to share screen and just share another piece to this story. This thing is so layered. We could literally get online at 6 o'clock in the morning and probably get off at midnight with how many layers it is to this story. But we got to break this thing down piece by piece. Okay, hold on one second. I want to make sure this is paused. I go. So 2 more female cops close to the disgraced NYPD Chief Jeffrey Maddrey, including his driver, raked in massive OT and other perks. You know, in New York City, they want to implement, first of all, I'm living in New Jersey. To cross the bridge, if I'm driving, you're talking, I think that thing $15, $18 or something like that. Now there's certain parts of the city where they want to consider it congestion areas and charge even more money for you to pass through those areas. Well, maybe if you stop letting people do this fictitious overtime, you won't have to be bopping us upside the head for money. More female officers in the disgraced top cop Jeffrey Maddrey's orbit pulled down massive overtime and other perks, the Post has learned. The driver for the former chief of department made an eye-popping $163,000 in OT. That wasn't the driver's salary. In OT, $163,000 last year, and resigned days after the Post exposed her boss' alleged sleazy conduct at police headquarters, records show. Detective Ingrid Sanders was the 7th highest overtime earner in the department, boasting her salary last fiscal year to $352,000, records show. That put her pay not far behind Lieutenant Cortisha Epps, the top earner, who made $403,000, including a $204,000 in OT. Epps filed an explosive Equal Opportunity Commission complaint accusing Maddrey of giving Epps overtime shifts in exchange for sex, the Post revealed in a front page exclusive on Sunday. Okay, that is Detective Ingrid Sanders in the center, and made over $350,000 last year. So on the day of the Post inquiry, Maddrey quit. Sanders was immediately transferred from one police plaza to a Queens precinct and filed for retirement on December 23rd, the Post found in police documents. Sanders is a first grade detective, the top grade, who served in the chief of the department's office since December 2022. She followed Maddrey there from the Patrol Services Bureau. She didn't return multiple messages. Maddrey, who sought favors for second detective Ada Reyes, the Post has learned. Epps, Maddrey's personal manager, told the Post that part of her OT was devoted to taking care of Reyes. The overtime that he would give me, he would tell me to buy her things, like get her some towels and things from Walmart, a microwave, and stuff like that, so she doesn't have to come out of her pocket, Epps said. I make the overtime, then I gave things to her. Who's the her? Allegedly one of other Maddrey's other I guess I'm gonna call special friends, and this is Ada Rodriguez, okay? Reyes, I mean. So Detective Ada Reyes made $55,000, $923 in overtime. The people was raking in the overtime cash. He would have me go apartment hunting with her, Epps said. I would be at work and he would tell me to get up and go with her to look for an apartment. Eventually, Epps claims Maddrey told her to rent an apartment that was in her adult children's names on the Lower East Side to Reyes and her family because they were having trouble finding housing. Two sources confirmed the apartment arrangement to the Post. Reyes made $42,500 as a new police officer in 2019, but her pay jumped to $154,405 in 2024. Anybody want to be NYPD? Including $55,923 in overtime, city records show. When Reyes came to work at NYPD headquarters in 2023, Maddrey told Epps to put her somewhere other than the 13th floor office, Epps told the Post. Ingrid Sanders and I worked directly for him, and he was very specific not to put Reyes in the office. Epps said he didn't want her and Ingrid bumping heads. Reyes was assigned to the domestic violence unit in another part of the building, she said. Reyes didn't return multiple phone and text messages seeking a comment. Nobody was at the apartment when the Post went to visit. A neighbor confirmed she and her husband lived there after looking at a photograph of her. Now, this chick had a husband, and she in the office playing sex games, allegedly, with Jeffrey Maddrey. Epps' alleged overtime agreement with Maddrey began because she was having financial problems and her home was being foreclosed on, she said. Maddrey, the highest ranking uniformed cop on the force, demanded unwanted sexual favors in exchange for overtime opportunities from Epps between June 2023 and December 16, 2024. December 16, 2024 was just a few days ago. The EEOC complaint alleges Maddrey would send her text messages telling her to close her door and strip for me right now. She would take video and send it to him, she told the Post. Epps claimed she had sex with Maddrey between 8 and 10 times on the couch in his inner office. The first time Maddrey told her he dreamed of having backdoor sex with her and then violently pulled her pants down and did so despite her repeatedly telling him to stop, she told the Post. I think he's a predator, Epps said. At a Friday press conference, Maddrey's lawyer called Epps a self-professed swinger who is under investigation for stealing time and putting in overtime she never worked. Now Lieutenant Epps, caught with her hand in the cookie jar, is trying to deflect her own wrongdoing by making these allegations against Chief Maddrey, his lawyer said. However, the truth is Lieutenant Epps had a consensual adult relationship for a short time with Jeff. He said, adding, they have a ton of evidence, including X-rated and racy videos and photographs from Lieutenant Epps. Maddrey didn't speak during the press conference and ignored questions yelled at him from the media. This is a hot mess. You know, Cat Williams said, did he want a party? You got to tell him no. Well, Jeffrey wanted the party, and they should have told him no. Katrina, your thoughts? And Katrina, if you finish before I come back, Sebastian, please go. I'll be right back.
Okay. First of all of them need to be locked up, right along with them other ones that was unaliving that guy. This is ridiculous, sad, and sick. So y'all going around sleeping with each other. So he's just not sleeping with her. He's sleeping with the other lady and the other lady, and then he got a wife at home, which probably why he was sleeping with. Because if I was his wife, he couldn't touch me. But either or. This is ridiculous. This is sad. This is sick. And every last, I don't believe none of them. They all lying. They're all liars. He a liar because I know he cheats on his wife. She's a liar because if she didn't want that stuff to happen, she wouldn't let it happen. You let it happen for money when you could have got another job and went somewhere else. Girl, please take that lie to somewhere else because we do not care. We know you're lying. He's lying. And they need to pay all the New York City back all that money that they taken from them because it's totally ridiculous and sick and sad. And no, none of them need to be in no type of office, no type of police officer, no type of nothing because they have no morals about themselves. So how you going to police me when you can't even police yourself? They all need to go. But that's all I got. Sebastian, your turn.
The NYPD has been corrupt for years, and I'm glad it's finally that is starting to come to light because a lot of people think of it as like, it's like America's police because it's one of the biggest cities and that's sort of like one of the biggest police forces in the US. It's very corrupt. It's very corrupt. Jeffrey Maddrey is disgusting. He's a pig. And Diva, you're going to start laughing. I remember when you said in the beginning, oh no, I'm not having 300 pounds on top of me.
No. Not for a second. Not for a second.
Maybe he's not on top of that. Maybe they're on top of him.
Oh!
But this is the problem. There needs to be an audit. Because I need to know how this budget at the NYPD is being just done. Because there's no way you mean to tell me y'all are just giving this over OT out like you guys have it like that. I know the NYPD budget's high, but it still needs to be efficient. It needs to. There's still other things like the NYPD doesn't just compose of police officers. We have receptionists. We have so many other things there. We have forensic scientists there. Like there's so many things there, like nurses, doctors.
Sebastian, the driver was making 200,000 and change.
Right.
When they pulled me over one time and told me I ran a stop sign, which I felt was a whole lie.
We need to get an audit up in here. Like there needs to be a forensic accountant that goes into the NYPD and gets to see these financial reports because something's not adding up here. There's no way you mean to tell me these people were getting this much in OT. And why did the state? No, not just the state, the city. But Eric Adams is doing other things, very focused on other things. But why are they not like noticing this and like y'all are allowing these checks to just be written, sent home? Like it's okay? Like what the hell? What world do we live in now? This is the lowest of the low. And I'm gonna say this, and I know some people are gonna be mad, but it's just the truth. Jeffrey Maddrey is a problem, and all are the people who also engaged with him too in those relations and succumb to his nastiness instead of walking out and doing something. Because you don't, to be honest, we did not hear anything about hurting, like physical A-ing or anything like that. So they should have come out against this narrative. And I know that one of them do have proof. We did see that statement. So it's gonna get more juicier. It's gonna be more gross. This is just disgusting.
Nasty.
Filthy.
It's filthy. It's nasty. And then they was doing this up in the office. So
in the office where I go sometimes
on the couch. Imagine if you was just a worker that wasn't in on this nonsense and you had to go speak to your boss and you sitting on the couch where all that nastiness happened. I would be suing too for distress.
We need to sage up in that office.
Sage, you need a whole deep cleaning. Matter of fact, throw the couch out. In my opinion, your thoughts?
This been a dumpster fire ever since it started.
Mm-hmm.
I really think. I don't think I see a victim in none of these cases in this case. He's sitting there lying and he changed his story 2 times in this interview. At first they was in a consensual relationship. Then he said, well, how long was the relationship? He said, oh, it was a fling. So he can't even get his lies straight. And then his attorney see him going, hey, why he try to jump in and take over. And attorney, he ain't good neither. Okay. If this what you got as an attorney, you going down, buddy. Okay. Yeah, you should have never opened your mouth. Silence is golden. That's what Diva tell us. Silence is golden. And his silence ain't golden. Okay. He's speaking too much. But I don't see a victim in these women either. She ain't know who to go to. Okay. She ain't know how to fire nothing when she was on the job taking it. She just had to take it because this was her boss. She ain't know who to go to. But the minute they suspended her, she knew to go to EEOC. I don't understand it.
Mm-mm.
But he backdoored you and everything, and it hurt, and you told him to stop, and he wouldn't. You ain't know where to go then, but now you know where to go. Yeah, you ain't making it make sense. I think all these people is lying. I think this is a conspiracy, and I think it's sad that this went on, at least with her, for 1.5 years. Now, we don't know how long the rest of these cases went on, but I know you have an audit at the end of the year. And they had to know someone right in their books. Everything shot up this 1 year. Didn't nobody say, well, why did the money shoot up this year? Why are we short on funds this year? No, they kept letting it go on. Yeah, it's a lot of people need to be involved.
Thank you. Dustin, your thoughts?
I think that whole entire police thing needs to be investigated, Diva. That's not him, but the whole thing needs to be investigated because I think it needs to be redone completely, and I think they need to have a long investigation. And I hope that I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see what happens in the future, David, because this is a sad situation for me, and I think that this is going to be going on for a very long time, and I think that we're going to have more hot topics about this situation here, David.
Thank you. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, I just got a little definition.
Uh-oh.
Prostitution is the practice or occupation of engaging in sexual activities with someone for payment or other forms of compensation. This doesn't sound any more different than on the street. A pimp with the prostitutes.
Oh.
Prostitutes know what corner to work. They know what to do. you ain't gonna tell me that. See, when you got this going on, and one of your coworkers said, "Girl, how you get this much money?"
Come on, talk.
No. You. Okay, so now somebody else got to be pulled into it. The driver. You heard something. Everybody, when they find out, you know, they want to know, well, how you getting this? I'm barely making it. How can you live? I don't know anything about New York, but how can you live up here? Okay. And a lot of times it's the money. You want to have a certain lifestyle. You want to live in a certain place or whatever. Maybe you just don't feel your income is enough. It's no different from the girls working the corner and the pimp coming to pick up their money.
Oh my gosh. Woo.
Because that's what they said. The girl said she would get the overtime money and then she'd have to buy somebody else something. He instruct somebody else to do something, you know. So several people was in on it.
Yeah.
And then when it broke, you got that one person, oh, I'm not going down by myself. So you're going to implement everybody that's in it. And this lady, she's fighting for her pension. Isn't she? Because they're going to take her pension and everything.
Yeah.
So there's no innocent people in this. It was good till it wasn't good no more. And the money stopped flowing. That's always the case. When the money stopped flowing, or somebody ain't getting enough, or something, you know, or somebody's getting too much. This is what happened. And black folks need to know you can't do the same thing that these other folks can do and get away with it.
Oh my God, you better talk.
I mean, he didn't think somebody was gonna find out. Like you say, Dave, is he dumb, stupid, or both? All you need is one person not to be happy with what's going on. And I hope they put as much time in the case with the man we just talked about.
Right.
And they talked about and putting on this.
Come on.
That's it.
I appreciate you. Julius, your thoughts?
My. However else the rhyme in that song go, ooh, Lord. Pimps in the police department, working girls in the police department. Ooh, tickles my spirit. Ain't no victims in this. They trying to blame each other. It's the blame game. As James Carter said in Rush Hour 3, it's the crying game. It's the crying game. You did this. This is what I'm going to say. You did this to me. How could you? But you was letting him doing it. Especially when you was going for a ride. It was good then. Oh, but see, your main source, the chinga-chinga-ling, the tick-tock, the tick-titty-talk, the money was cut off. Oh, now it's a problem. Why? Because something was taken away? This is what I say. Girl, bye. Boy, bye. All of y'all, bye.
Felicia, your thoughts?
I'm disgusted with all of them. You know, I'm doing a quick calculation here on the 6 of them. The 6 of them have taken somewhere between $450,000 and $750,000 in overtime money.
Ooh.
Now, whether they earned some of it or not, I don't know. But they said it was excessive. And I'm thinking about this money, and I'm thinking about how much Pimp Jeffrey was getting back on the kickback. I don't know how much he was getting every month. So he didn't actually put in for overtime thus far, as I'm understanding it, but he got kickback money. And so I don't understand why his wide body self is up there lying with the lawyer today. What is he trying to accomplish?
Come on now, talk.
I'm just trying to understand. Talking about this was consensual. Telling somebody to booty up on the couch in the office was consensual. What am I missing here? I mean, clearly you didn't want to pay for a hotel. The man was cheap, okay? He was cheap. He was dirty. He's disgusting. He's a walking VD. That's what he is. And so he didn't want to pay for nothing. Well, he didn't want to pay for nothing. And he wanted to have the hoes on the street there. And he wanted, what's her name, Epps, to go out and make the most OT money. I mean, this is how I'm processing this thing. And then she would go and give them the gifts and so forth and so on. So he comes up there, what was it, today? Talking about this was consensual?
On the weekend.
Right.
Right before New Year. Come on now.
On a Saturday. So something must have happened. There must be more people coming forward now. Something else is going on. He's trying to get ahead of it. And this thing is so low, so dirty, so gutter. It's so trashy. I can't imagine how much worse it can get. I mean, your boss calls you and tells you to shut the door and strip and send a video, and you doing it?
In the office, in the workplace.
So what was she doing when he wasn't there? And she says she's a victim? Girl, you better go someplace else. The people who've been victimized are the taxpayers of the city of New York.
Come on now.
Those are the victims. But I suspect more is coming. And so he has gotten out with this story about something being consensual, because whatever's coming tomorrow is worse than what we've already heard.
Good of you, Ma.
And meanwhile, the wife not taking him back. Okay. And I suspect when he was down there in Georgia, he went to his mother's house and she told him to get his dirty ass up out of there after Christmas. Take your whole self right back up there in New York and be on the street, because that's all you are, is a street dog. That's what he is. He's a predator. And somebody told me, well, he was going, one of the other police people said that he would drive around to the 75th precinct and the 84th precinct looking for victims. Shame on you, Jeffrey. Shame on you. So worse is to come. And I want all of our money back with interest. And I don't give a damn who got to be homeless on the street. But now they could be out there legitimately. They can go out there to East New York and put their fake booties out there and be on their knees out there because they didn't appreciate what they had legally. Yeah, I'm done.
Yikes. Leo, your thoughts?
And just flowing on the back of Felicia, this big back, greasy fried chicken looking mofo got the nerve to sit up here and say this is consensual. I do not think so at all. I think,
Silverback.
What? What?
It says silverback.
It's silverback, absolutely. But I think
you want to pack a hot
silverback.
dog in the bed.
I think that is more gracious for him to be called a silverback. He's not even good enough to be called a silverback. He's a big back. That's what he is, a big fried chicken eating, slimy, greasy, fat back looking type of person. But I think this is systemic to a power dynamic that goes on within the police department, because even in my little country town down south, we had a similar type of scandal that broke too, as well, with a young lady that was getting passed around all through the police department.
Oh my God.
And nobody lost their job, y'all. Like nobody lost their job. Not the chief, not the other police officers. She lost her job
Wow.
And as well, she went to the EECO as well and filed a claim, and that's how come we found out about it, right? That it was in the public papers. And I think it's systemic to the power that police have in everybody's community, and I'm quite sure it's rampant in NYC. And to piggyback a little bit on Felicia, I feel like this is just my thinking, and I probably could be terribly wrong, but there's civilians in this as well that he done power tripped on.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere within his line of being in power, that I'll get you off if you suck me off. Something like that. I feel like that's what's really about to come. Because if this man want us to believe that these women are having consensual acts with him, he must think we are really like blind, crazy, and dumb. Because that's not what's happening. It's a power trip, and these women that went along with it, I totally agree. Once this Lieutenant Epps got caught out there for having extensive overtime, because that's how it works. When one person get caught, it was all good to the gravy train cut out. It was all good to the gravy train cut out. And when people started questioning, I do believe that she consensually slept with this man to get this extensive overtime. I believe the driver who was getting this extensive overtime know where all the bodies is buried. He is the key. See, he is the key because he was the driver. When he had to take the chief to the tricks on the street that he was getting sexual favors, he know about that as well.
Oh,
he knows about that as well. So this man is dirty, but he is not the only one. He is not the only one. I think it's a culture. I think it's something that happens in a lot of police departments. And I'm not quite sure which precinct he ran. He was in PP. He was in PP1. Is that what they call it in New York? 1 PP. 1 PP.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where he was at. It's a whole bunch of greasy mofos up over there. I think it's a culture. I think it's a culture, and they may drown all of these people because they not the complexion for the protection. So all of them might get drowned. But just like Wayne say, what they can do, we can't do. And all of them are about to go down. This thing here is about to get really, really ugly. You see how those folks with the Robert Brooks situation, how he was assaulted and unalived. These officers have been doing this for years.
Oh my gosh.
But they will be allowed to unalive people, and nobody will eat. Everybody turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
Now with this one here, with all of these people, oh no, all of them about to go down. Miss Lieutenant Epps, you're not gonna get your pension. This other Reyes woman, when they dig up her dirt for all the stuff she been doing, she ain't gonna get no pension. This man here, the chief, he ain't getting nothing either. They all getting ready to be on the streets with nothing. That's all I got, Diva.
Woo, child. Well, listen. He was a hot, nasty, stinking, freaking mess. And he was arrogant. You could tell he was an arrogant piece of something because he was arrogant in that press conference. I ain't asked nobody for nothing in the 35 years that I did stuff.
Telling lies. All of it's lies.
Lies. I ain't asked him to return no favors, and a lot of people owe me. He's a mess. But you know what? That pee in your pants got you here, sir. And then she was taking the tax hit on that overtime. When you get into yes, very small. When you fall into another tax bracket, your check really gets eaten up with the taxes. So she was paying all that taxes, and he was telling her what to do with the money. She was taking the hit all the way around. You were sleeping with this man. You was getting overtime, and he was telling you use your overtime on your other boo. You got that thing right, Wayne. It was nothing but a whole P ring going on. He was the pimp, and he was telling her what to do with the money he allowed her to make. And now she crying, woe is me. And like y'all all said, she ain't know nothing about the EEOC office until they said you busted for this overtime. Now all of a sudden she know where it's at. She can see clearly now. She knew what she was doing, and she was enjoying it, because it's one thing you forcing me. You ain't gonna force me to go strip in the office and send you no video. No, I will not.
And I'm not about to sleep with nobody for no overtime. You better get out of here with that. You better mess me with that. Come on now.
Leo, not a second, not 30 minutes. I ain't taking off my shirt. I'm not showing you nothing. I'm not sending you a video.
No, and I'm going to Walmart. I'm gonna go get my oodles of noodles. I'm gonna make sure I pay my good rent for that next month, and then I'm out. I'm not dealing with none of that.
I'm out.
Leo, that's what people with morals would do.
Oh, shoot.
But when you don't have any morals,
oh my gosh,
when you don't have any morals, this is easy.
Our
In exchange
value
for money. You don't think those people's lifestyle changed?
Sure did.
Sure did. People's lifestyle changed. So guess what they got to do? They got to keep up with their lifestyle. So guess what they got to do?
You want to know what's wild? What is wild to me is she said her house was going in foreclosure, but in the meantime, she had that apartment. So a lot of people, when their home is going into foreclosure, they have nowhere else to go. They legit going to be homeless. She had an apartment she could fall back on. But like you saying, Wayne,
it was in a kid's name, Diva, so that's a crime too.
Well, we know that's a crime, but she did have an apartment she could have fell back on. But she didn't want to do that. Because why? Like Wayne said, it was about that lifestyle. She wasn't going to lose it. And it cost her, that lifestyle cost her everything. Backdooring her, front door, her, having her send videos, and then having her know that she ain't the number one hoe. My number one hoe, I need you to go help her find her apartment. And when she go find her apartment, you need to buy the towels, the dishes, the furniture, everything she need. She ain't even telling the whole story right now.
She didn't care. She didn't care about that. She cared about the overtime. She didn't care about that. Listen, she ain't want the 300-pound gorilla on top of her no way. She really was glad somebody else was doing.
But they all knew about each other, and she still did it with him. According to her, she said 10 to 15 times. It was more. Because if she did it with him, the last time she did it with him was December the 16th.
Disgusting. Boy, I'm telling you, the bowel is coming up in my throat. Lord have mercy.
Especially seeing him sitting there talk. I did a lot of favors in my 35 years. I ain't asked nobody for nothing, and a lot of people owe me. Sir, don't nobody owe you. And that's why your wife told you to get them suitcases and get out.
Because she put up with his greasy behind too. Ooh.
Listen, a hot mess. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all for coming through on this Saturday night. And y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Continue to comment on these stories. I'm going to stay connected, especially with the one with the inmate tragedy, this Robert Brooks. When that, I still cannot believe that happened. You that angry that you take your foot up off the ground to a man that is handcuffed behind his back, and you're literally kicking him in the groin. And you stand, and others standing there watching. I mean, punching this man, pulling him up by his neck. Then they stuff something in his mouth. If they didn't brutalize him enough, they stuffed something in his mouth. And I don't know, because there was no sound. If they were starting to stop the screaming, the hate. Yes, it was hate. It was hate. It was hate. And then they unclothed him. They took his clothes off. It's sad. I will stay connected. This Jeffrey Maddrey story is giving Diddy a break. Because this thing been on in the news all over again. Yeah, they were cowards. Very sad. But I appreciate y'all for being here, guys. You know the routine. Hit the like button on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Good night and goodbye, everybody. I'll see you next time.